your first time, I hope you'll stay. Espero que te quedes. Today, we're going to look at ways to make sure you're approaching this year as A-level students or just students of Spanish in general. We're approaching the process a little bit better and with more tranquility, more hope, and just calmer, in a calmer manner. So this is directed mainly towards A-level students, A-level Spanish students. If you're not doing A-level Spanish, you can still stay. We invite you to stay. It's okay. It's for anyone who is studying, really. And so, though this is to prepare you a little bit for what's coming this summer, we do know that in the UK, this summer, exams have been cancelled. However, you will still be getting assessed by your teachers. So, you still need to be doing something. You still need to be writing. You still need to know how to communicate. You still need to know how to get everything that you've been seeing throughout the year out. You need to show your teacher that you are knowledgeable. You know all this information. Right, eventually, I hope we will get back to normal, and so this will be useful for afterwards as well. I feel the best point to start with is, what kind of learner are you? Okay, we all learn in different ways. The way you learn might not be the way I learn. The way I learn might not be the way Lucy learns. Okay, we all learn in different ways, and we need to be able to identify what type of learner we are so that we can use that to our advantage when it comes to approaching the subject, when it comes to revision, when it comes to taking it all in. Okay, so do you know any of the learners? Do you know what learner you are? Do you know all the different types of learners that there are? Well, if you don't, no problem. We're doing that today, okay? So first of all, we have the visual and spatial learner. These sort of people, they learn with planning, okay? Planean todo, okay? Lo tienen que tener todo en su sitio y ordenado, okay? Everything organized, and that's a good way to go. Maybe you have all the work you've been given in your folder, color-coded, everything in its place, so you organize your things in your head. That's a good way to go. If you learn better like that, know that you're visual and spatial learning. Lots of colors. So when we see our notes, the information will stick more in our heads, okay? You might use one color to jot down your verbs, another color to jot down your adjectives, another color to, and so on. Or you might use colored paper, whatever it might be, okay? Maybe you want to do drawings perhaps, or scribble. That's what I do, I scribble, I can't draw. Maybe you want to, instead of writing things down, just draw them down. Maybe that's the way you remember. Maybe connecting little drawings together works for you. It's just knowing that's what you do. Okay? You're not easily distracted, which is good. It means that you know what you need to get on with, you plan it, you have it down in your diary, what you need to do, when you need to do it. Okay, I think it's a good way to do it. But we're not all like that, are we? Then we might have solitary, interpersonal learner. This sort of learner doesn't like to work in groups, for example. They concentrate better if they don't have a lot of noise around them. Okay, maybe you prefer to do, you know what teachers say, okay, in groups, probably dreading because you know that you can get on much better by yourself because you can focus more. That's okay. It just means when it comes to revision, and you're revising at home by yourself, well, this is an advantage because that's where you shine. That's what you prefer to do, okay? You're independent and you're learning. You take that as your responsibility and you enjoy doing these things on your own, okay? Maybe you're one of these learners and it's okay. Now, a kinesthetic learner es una persona que aprende haciéndolo, okay? Si yo hago esto, aprendo, ¿okay? Por ejemplo, si yo necesito construir un barco, ¿okay? Y tú me dices, para hacer un barco necesitas hacer esto, esto y esto. Perhaps you've given me the information or the instructions, or just reading off a piece of paper and telling me what I need to do to build that boat. I won't be able to build that boat. I'll be able to build that boat if I'm actually doing it hands-on. I get the material, I watch somebody do it, and I get the chance to do it myself. Okay, I try and I might make a mistake, but I'm doing it myself and I'm learning that way through perhaps trial and error. Okay, kinesthetic learner, hands-on learner. You like to learn by doing things. Okay, action. You're an active person. And that's all right. Remember, you can be a combination of these things actually, because I think I'm a combination of 3 of these types of learners. We're not saying we're boxing you in, it's just recognizing what kind of learner you are so that you can apply that more when it comes to studying, okay? You might be an auditory learner. What does an auditory learner what does that mean? Well, what it sounds like, okay? So you like to listen to things. Perhaps you learn more when the teacher is explaining things because you like the sound of well, just the voice or music, anything that you can listen to. So for Spanish, music, poetry. Okay, so maybe like tones, rhythm, the sound of certain people's voices will work for you. Use that. I know there are lots and lots of videos online that you can just listen to while you go about your business. They could be explaining how to do conjugation, they could be telling a story in Spanish, it could just be the news. That's for you. Okay, it's auditory. Maybe you retain better like that. Okay, right. Then you have a kind of learner that learns by just reading and then writing, reading and writing both at the same time. That's quite straightforward. Then you have logical and mathematical sort of learners. These people recognize patterns. And there's a positive side for this and there's a negative side that I've seen when it comes to language learning. Why? Because mathematical students, they tend to, they identify and recognize patterns, which is great when it comes to remembering conjugations, because they can apply this. Oh yes, you need to take all the AR off and you need to put these endings on. The same with the ER, these are the sets of endings. They like to categorize. This is fantastic on that hand. But on the other hand, sometimes they find it hard when, and you know this happens a lot in languages, that all of a sudden you go off what we've been told you that's the rule, okay? We always say in language, yeah, this is a rule and you follow this and that. But it is language and no rule is ever perfect. There's always an exception to the rule. So when this happens, don't be so stern if you're a mathematical learner. Be flexible and remember that language learning is not always about rules, okay? Even though you love the rules, you have to bend the rules sometimes, because it's language learning, okay? And there's no such thing as a rule that applies in all situations, okay? So flexibility, it will help you, but you have to be flexible as well, and remembering that sometimes, well, it won't, the patterns won't always apply. Okay? Right. Verbal speakers, verbal learners are speakers, okay? They like to talk, they like to write things down, okay? I think that's quite a lot of people. They like to express themselves, and, you know, when you are learning things, talking about it, perhaps teaching your classmate about it. Because a lot of times when you're learning, when you get it, when you really get it, and then you explain it to somebody else, there you go, that's it. You have it. You have it. Okay, social and interpersonal learners, what do they do? Well, fabulous communicators you are. If you fall into this category, you are a fabulous communicator. You're also very sensitive, and, well, you like to work with people. That's okay, but you have to be very careful not to get too distracted. Okay? That being said, I hope you've been able to identify what type of learner you are, so then we can apply these, this or the skills that come with that sort of, with the learner you are to learning Spanish. Okay? Right. Next thing we have, A-level. Oh, guys, before I forget, this week at some point, I'm going to be doing a live to go over the subjunctive, which is a problem for many of us, the subjunctive in Spanish. So if you want to be a part of it and you want to practice your Spanish, let me know by the end of this week, so I will bear that in mind. Okay? Right. The next thing I wanted to touch was this, that we need, it happens to everyone, it's not just you, just your thinking. We tend to have this feeling of, I'm not good enough. I am not good enough. And I can't quite understand why and when we get to that point, but it has to do with the fact that it's such a massive jump when you get to A-level, isn't it? It's such a massive jump. And we do get very insecure. So try not to be so hard on yourself. Remember, it's a race. It's not a race. It's not a race. Okay, we will all get where we need to get to. You'll all get to fluency. Especially if you're going to be studying at university, you know, remember what's to come. You will have a lot of time to get to where you need to get to. If it doesn't all come today and you don't feel as though you're as good as the person next to you, it's okay, as long as you are doing the very best that you are able to do. Okay, that's the best thing you can do. Next point, even though you're going to be assessed by your teachers, you still need to make sure that you're keeping up with the workload. The workload is heavy. It's a lot. Do divide your time up. Make sure you're doing a little every single day. I'm not going to dictate what you need to be doing every day. You do that, but you do need to know that you have to do a little bit every single day. Don't get overwhelmed, but don't get so lax that you just leave everything because you think there isn't going to be an exam, because you're still going to get assessed. And on a daily sort of level, you need to show your teachers that, you need to impress your teachers, come on. Whether it's through writing, whether it's through just talking to them in Spanish, they're listening, okay? We're always listening. So make sure you're on top of that, okay? And that feeling of you not being good enough, you need to get rid of that, because so many people have said that to me, you know. I really love it, but I just feel as though I'm not good enough. If you're feeling like that, it is so common. I've heard that so many times. And I can remember feeling like that when I was at school and studying. So many times. So many times. So remember, that is also very normal. Right. Don't forget your past papers. Go onto the AQA website or Excel or whatever it is. Go and get yourself some past papers because it's going to give you vocab. We want vocabulary, okay? And I've probably explained this to you on another video, but I know not everyone's watching this will be following me, so you might not know that, so I'd like to reiterate anyways, okay? Right. Old school. You can tell I'm from the 90s, right? Newspapers. I know people don't use newspapers as much as I did when I was at school, perhaps, because everything now is just online. Okay, get the newspaper online. That is also a possibility. Okay, a magazine that you like. Do that. Your apps, even Facebook. Do you know you can change the language in all of these platforms, or even on Instagram? Okay, whatever you're doing, switch the language to Spanish. Okay, así vas a aprender mogollón. Te lo prometo. Te lo prometo. Es un truco. Es un truco. O tu móvil, cambia el idioma de tu móvil al español. You will see. You will absolutely see the difference. Okay, what else? Follow people online who are Spanish. Hay mucha gente en YouTube, por ejemplo, que son mexicanos, españoles, hispanos en general, okay? Look for people who speak Spanish, somebody that you like, follow them. If you're into cooking, find someone who has a cooking channel in Spanish, follow them. Cocina española, for example, or cocina cubana. I don't know what that is. Cocina Argentina. I can't think. Argentina, for example. I don't know. Whatever it is you like, the world is at your fingertips, guys. I can't do it all for you. So this is why I'm putting it out there, okay? And I don't want to go on too much, so I'm going to just end with saying, you need to know everything. Might feel like it's taken forever, but this is a process, okay? Don't give up. Do not give up on this, because I promise you, the day that you start understanding everything and everyone, it'll be like a hallelujah. And that's the moment you're waiting for, the hallelujah moment. That's what we're working towards. And so guys, with that, I'm going to leave you. If you do want to sign up to the live, where you can consult any doubts that you may have, do that. It's just going to be a session for practicing, okay? For you to talk a little bit, for you to even write in the chat a little bit, and yeah, let me know sometime this week. If you look in the community tab, I should put the exact date before I do, a couple of days before. And with that, I'm going to leave you, and I hope you have a really good day, whatever you're doing. And until next time, cuidaros mucho y a estudiar un poco cada día. Adiós.